Hello again. Now this here I'm working on some antlers slash horns, and as you can see I got a little Pringles can here that I cut up in general shape, and I also used some toilet paper rolls to get a little bit more, some pop casing, and this here is just a little bit of coat hanger with some newspaper wrapped around it and some tape to finish it up. Now this here is the general shape that I'm going to use for the skeleton of it. I'll use masking tape to fill in the holes if I need to, make it a little bit rounder, add some paper to it to give this a rounded top edge. And for right here, like coming in here, I can use just straight tape. Just put a couple layers of that on and get it to the shape that you want it to. Same with up here. And then you can just keep on modeling it and molding it the way you want to by adding more paper, more masking tape, or you can even cut some more of it off. But let's get started with this. First off, I'm going to start going around the top here. I want to close that off. That way I can use the newspaper up on top of it. Taping over this will give it a base to go to. See right here. Now as I go along, I'm going to finish up a little more taping here, but this here, using this as a base, I can put some rolled up paper in there just to make this a little more rounded. And then the same back here goes for this part. But as we're going along, I mean, nothing needs to be perfect right off the bat. This is just filling in the big holes, big gaps. See as that goes right around, closes that off a little bit. And also makes it a little rounder. As I mentioned earlier, this here gives it just a skeleton. It's not super strong. It's just a little bit of cardboard that's hot glued together, and it's still quite fragile, but it gives us something to build off of. And once we get going with this and get it looking the way we want it, to where we can finish this up, then comes in the more reinforcing, to where I'll use either some sheets, bed sheets, old worn out bed sheets. They have holes in them. If they're tattered, frayed on the edges, those are great. The reason being is they're all worn out and they will go over everything. And the one thing I really liked about using the glue, the Elmer's glue instead of paper mache paste, is that Elmer's glue shrinks when it dries. So what that does with the bed sheet is create unique little ridges or ripples in it, And that can actually come out and turn out like variations of like an antler. Or if you use it for the top coating for a skin area, it'll actually make it look like it's got veins or ripples in the skin. I like using it around the eyes, because then you get the little wrinkles in the eyes. It looks so realistic. But we'll keep on going with that in a little bit. I'll show you the antlers right here. Now, like this here is the antler, one of the larger pieces of it. And I have this covered with the masking tape and had it molded all whichever way I wanted it to. I also have a second one that looks just like this. But the bed sheet on the top of it, as you can see, these little ripples and wrinkles in here as the glue dried. It gives that appearance of more realism. For the bottom part here, I snipped all the sides. That'll give me more surface area in which to attach this to the skull or the head of the dragon. Well, if you've enjoyed this little demonstration here, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you next time. Alright, last time I started off with basic skeleton and adding some tape and a little bit of highlights here and there with toilet paper tubes I cut in half, then cut the little rounded section off. That goes in here and in here. And then right here, create a little homemade veins is what I'll put here and here. And I'll do it on the other side. This here will be the outside. You see it's come along pretty nicely. I do want to fix this up a little bit, make that more along the line of this stuff here. But again, that all started off with just adding a little more masking tape and to cover up these holes here, to open areas. And it'll all hold the shape together a little bit better. For all the dragons that I've made so far, I've probably gone through about 10 rolls of this inch-wide tape here, and I've gone through 2 or 3 2-inch rolls. So some people model and add clay to their sculptures. That's how they do all their molding. Add a little bit of clay here, a little bit of clay there, until you get the shape that you want. And then you can fine tune it. Well, we're doing the same thing, except that we use paper and masking tape. Add a little bit here, a little bit there, until you get it to look like what you want.